My mom was a registered nurse for almost 40 years. My earliest memories of my mom were her taking care of people. I grew up playing hockey, and my mom always managed to balance her work schedule with being on call. She'd show up to hockey games, and she always made the time to be there for everything. My mom was a very intuitive person. She actually ordered her own lab work, and she found that some levels were off. I was the one actually that got the news first. I'll never forget when I received my mom's diagnosis. It was 11 o'clock at night. Her physician called me. I had just gotten out of the elevator in my condo, and he went, "Blake, the biopsy is positive for pancreatic cancer." And yeah, I remember going back to my condo. My mom was asleep, so was my stepdad, and I cried myself to sleep. And then the next morning, I had to reveal the news to her. Telling someone you love, telling somebody that is your mom, my mom, who is by all means the center of my world, my cheerleader, to have to look at her and tell her, "Mom, you have cancer." It was absolutely gut-wrenching. She, really went outside the box with her treatment because she knew what the statistics were for it, but she wanted to maximize her time here while getting the best quality of life, which is exactly what we wanted for her too. My mom fought this very aggressively, but at the 2-year mark, she had a series of scans done. The cancer spread to her liver. It spread further into her lymph nodes, and we reached a point where do we continue treatment or we preserve quality of life? The last day that my mom was with us here on this earth, it was about 7:15 in the morning when she passed. I walked in right after she had taken her last breath. I discovered Purple Community within a month of my mom being diagnosed. I became very actively involved, doing different events and bringing people in, making them aware of what Van Andel Institute did, and then, the amazing amount of hope that is cultivated in a beautiful building on the hill. And then after my mom passed, it's amazing when you are somebody's main caregiver, you end up with an amazing amount of time, and you have to shift your sense of purpose. So for me, getting involved with Purple Community, getting involved, with the J board at Van Andel Institute, it gives me the opportunity to cultivate hope. When my mom was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, that was one of the first things I asked at the Institute was, "Do you guys research pancreatic cancer?" And they said, "We absolutely do. By the way, we have Dr. Brian Hobb. Would you like to meet with him?" And I sat down with him for over an hour. He went through all of his research that they were doing, his vision for where they wanted to take his lab in the future. And that was one of the turning points for me where I knew I've got to be involved with Purple Community and Van Andel Institute. Hope is something where you definitely have to take action. You have to be able to look at something, look at a challenge and go, what can I do? It's not about being, a part of something that's massive, but if you can get started on the ground level, figure out what motivates you, and then spread that around, spread that positive energy around, the more people that you can bring together, the more likely that we're going to end up with something that results in not just hope, but something that comes to fruition where there is a cure. And that's something that I truly 100% believe is going to be accomplished here in Grand Rapids at Van Andel Institute.